What is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to my channel. This is my countdown video of all 3 Hotel Transylvania movies, a series that I was just introduced to. Well, not introduced to. I have seen trailers before, but I have never actually watched the movies until this week. So I have watched the movies in their entirety. I'm going to rank the series, and honestly, I'm just going to start this off right off the bat. I like all 3 movies. I think they're fun. I think they're entertaining. I don't think they go anywhere past those notches, but they don't have to because they're movies clearly made for kids, but they have just enough in there to kind of appeal to adults. So that's what we're talking about today. I didn't really know what else to count down, and I figured, hey, it's a trilogy now, so... okay. And this will also kind of be my review for Hotel Transylvania 3, since I've not really done a separate video on that. But let's get started with this list, starting at number 3. And the irony of me just saying that, and the irony of this being at number 3, and that is the brand new one, Hotel Transylvania 3 Summer Vacation. And like I said, I like all 3 of these movies, this one included. Just because it's at the bottom didn't mean I didn't enjoy it. I did have a pretty solid time in the theater, me by myself sitting with a bunch of parents and their kids, so. And since this is technically my review, let's start out with the good. I just want to do that. So let's talk about the things that I like about the series as a whole. I love the animation style. It's very fast-paced, in your face, and it's constantly coming at you with jokes. I mean, my goodness, if you go and use the bathroom, you're going to miss like 10 jokes, and a lot of them don't really hit for me, but I'll tell you this, the kids in my theater, see, this was my first time seeing one of these films in a theater, and I have to say, it was a little bit better of an experience because I got to see the reactions of the target audience, and they were all cracking up, having a great time. And while those specific jokes didn't appeal to me, there are a lot of jokes in here, like I said, and same thing with the other 2 movies, they come across as like, okay, you kind of slid that in there, it's an adult thing. And then the animation style. So this is the guy that brought us television shows like Samurai Jack and Dexter's Laboratory, and you can tell he brings that animation style here, and that's my favorite thing about these movies. I love the way that they're animated, just the movements of the characters and certain things and interactions, and I'm just like, okay, that kind of reminds me of the good old Cartoon Network from my day, and he brings that once again in Hotel Transylvania 3. And I kind of like where this story goes. You know, they're going out, they're leaving the hotel, they're on a cruise ship. It's a different kind of adventure, but they get to do things that these characters would do on vacation. And then you have the villain, Van Helsing, blah, blah, blah. And you have his great-great-granddaughter, I believe, and there's some stuff going on there. Dracula kind of likes her. You can see where the story is going, and you know, as the other 2 do, that there's going to be a lot of dance numbers in there, which is kind of, I didn't love that the first time I saw the first movie. Then I watched the second one, I'm like, okay, they're going to do this for all 3. Sure enough, they did it again. But I will say one thing I like about this movie more is I like the song selection. Some of the other ones, it's kind of in your face and annoying, but for this one, I'm like, yeah, these songs really work for what the plot is going for, and I like that. And as for the bad, I'll just say this. I don't think it's as inventive or creative as the other 2. I didn't like the plot as much, and I think the characters grew a little bit more in the other 2. But there's not much negativity I can say about this movie because you guys know what my negatives probably are. A lot of fart jokes, a lot of slapsticky humor, stuff that just doesn't appeal to me, and it feels lazy when it comes to animation, but this movie knows what it is. All 3 have been the same thing. It's like one continuous episodic series. I'm sorry I'm spending too long on this movie, but this is kind of like my review. I'm just going to tell you guys this. If you like the other 2 movies, go see it. If you don't, I wouldn't see it because it is the same thing, but not in a bad way. And now, just by a sliver, I have the second one at number 2, and this is kind of going exactly how you guys think it would go. I love the introduction of Mel Brooks' character as the grandpa. He comes in, he makes his presence known, and just hearing that voice, oh, I love his voice so much. I just love Mel Brooks. He was really good as the character, and I love the introduction of the grandson. He was so cute. He carries on into the third one. I love his voice, the way he acts, and the way they interact with him. I didn't love the passage of time. They make 5 years feel like a couple of minutes, and they don't really age. And I know she's not supposed to age, but he's human, so he should have aged a little bit. I just don't really like how they did that portion of the story, but I love the stuff with the grandson. He might become a vampire or he might not, and I will say I didn't really predict what was going to happen, and that's a good thing. That's something it had going for it. It's not as original as the original, but it's still a cute movie. Now, if you guys clicked on this, you have probably watched these movies, and you probably knew what my number 1 was going to be. It went exactly how it says in the title, 3, 2, and 1. But I will say this, if you follow me on Letterboxd, you have seen my reviews, and you know that I didn't really score this one that much higher than the other ones. Because while I think it exceeds the other two, I don't think it exceeds it by that much. I thought this story was really inventive, creative. I love getting introduced to these characters. I love the entire voice cast, David Spade and Kevin James. They're kind of annoying when they do the movies like the Netflix films with Adam Sandler, but just their voices, they work. And I think they fit the roles really well. I like CeeLo in this one, then he was replaced with Key from Key and Peele in the next two. I didn't have a problem with that, but he was good as a voice actor. I like Andy Samberg coming in, being the pedestrian. I thought the story was very creative in what it did and trying to adapt with all of the monsters and vampires. I really wish they would have hit on Andy Samberg's character more in the other one because he's kind of pushed aside for the other characters, which is fine, but I really loved what he gave us, and he probably gave me the most laughs in this movie. And like I said, they're very slapsticky. I don't like the poop jokes. I don't like the really kiddie humor, but it really works for what it's going for, and it knows what it is, and I'm okay if it's consistent and it has that proper tone. The problem I had with Skyscraper, it didn't keep the right tone. This thing has it all the way through the entire trilogy. It's not great. I'm at more of a 6 out of 10 than anything else, but it is very entertaining, and it's worth a watch if you like animated movies and if you love really cool animation. And the last thing I'll say, Adam Sandler has not been very good recently. I loved him in the Merowitz stories, but he's very good as the voice of Dracula, and I enjoy him in these movies. So that is it, guys. I combined my review with the countdown. You got a list. If you're a fan of these movies, you got to see that. Thank you so much for supporting this video, giving me all those thumbs up, and commenting your thoughts. What is your favorite? What is your least favorite? Have you not even seen these movies yet? I try not to spoil anything, so if you haven't, go check them out because I believe they're on Vudu, which you guys don't probably have. I don't know, find them, watch them, and you can even go watch the third one because continuity, schmontinuity, it really doesn't matter. You can jump into this series and still enjoy it. I truly believe that. So today's comment spotlight comes to us from Bad Charles, who says such a great review, and he is giving me greetings from Peru. How cool is that? Somebody watching me all the way from Peru. Bonjour. That's not right. But seriously, I appreciate you guys watching me from wherever you are from. Your presence is always welcome, and as are your comments. I love to hear your all's thoughts, especially on a video like this. You guys are the absolute best. Be sure to check out the links in the description below for my Letterboxd page, my Stardust page, and MovieBabbleReviews.com. I will catch you guys very soon with another video.